The SpaceX IPO has shown how the crypto ecosystem and traditional finance is finally merging. We've got a tokenized SpaceX stock, and that's getting traded quite a bit. 42 million worth of trading volume in the last 24 hours alone. And that's not with leverage, that's just a spot token. Now this has several implications. One of them being that insider trading, if you're an insider of SpaceX, it's now becoming very easy. But also we've got now an opportunity with arbitrage. As in, this token, it can be levered, it can be borrowed against, it can be financed. And those kinds of financing rates can turn into above average risk-free returns. Just have a look at this. The market cap is 10 million, and that's how many tokens got issued. The trading volume is 42 million. So everybody that provided liquidity for this token is making a lot of return. There are several versions of the token. So there's one on Arbitrum, there's one on Ethereum, but really all of the trading happens on Solana. We've got 4,678 wallets of the SpaceX stock token. Here is the platform that enables all of that. xstocks.fi. Hi, my name is Gerhard. I've been in the crypto space for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago, and I did this mainly through active trading. So I don't just buy and hold, I try to find opportunities where we can get above average returns without increasing our risk too much. Now people are wondering, where does all of this trading volume on chain come from? For example, here, that was 22 hours ago, 80 million worth of trading volume at that time. I think a lot of it has to do with arbitrage trading. So have a look at this, 318 million of open interest, 1 billion of trading volume, and that's on Hyperliquid. So that's on the levered bets on the price. Now check out that funding rate. It's minus 44%. If you're currently betting on a rising price of SpaceX on Hyperliquid, you get more than 40% per annum in additional funding returns. So really, when we see those kind of returns, and you're considering to buy SpaceX stock, why should you buy the stock directly in traditional finance when in crypto you can get this additional return? And this return is not just some kind of Ponzi scheme. This return is paid by the opposite side of the trade, the people that are currently betting on falling prices. In other words, the vast majority of crypto traders, they're very bearish on SpaceX. They think that the SpaceX price will go down. But there is the arbitrage here, because if the funding rate gets that much out of whack, we can just do the exact opposite. So let's say we buy SpaceX on Hyperliquid, we earn the funding rate, and then we short SpaceX in traditional finance. And shorting SpaceX in a brokerage account will not cost more than 40% per annum. It will cost at maximum 5% per annum. This is actually one of those approaches I follow more and more in crypto. So that's arbitrage. We are looking at the funding rate of various assets over time, and then we hedge that in traditional finance. Now currently I'm blurring the tickers over here because this comes from the premium membership, so I don't want to spoil that data in the YouTube channel, but I do want to show the data of SpaceX. So directly after the IPO, the funding rate was very negative. We got some compensation for betting on rising prices on Hyperliquid. Then this flipped around, it got positive, and now it's back to negative again. This is a very volatile funding rate. So SpaceX is a risky asset to arbitrage trade for the interest rates, because they just flip too much. But then there are other assets where the funding rate tends to be very consistently above the break-even line. Now what's the break-even line over here? That's how much we would pay for leverage in traditional finance plus the transaction fees that we have for opening and closing the position. So we have to be at least above this red line. If you opened this funding rate arbitrage at the end of August, you would have gotten on average somewhere between 20 and 30% without any price risk. Where do you get 20 to 30% return without being exposed to the ups and downs of the market? Pretty much nowhere. Yes, we do have some risk by being also in decentralized finance. We are using Hyperliquid here. And yes, the funding rate does still fluctuate. There is some risk, but 20 to 30% per annum for that kind of risk, I think is very much worth it. Hyperliquid is the largest decentralized finance perpetual future exchange. Yes, any exchange can get hacked, but I don't think that all of the funds will drain tomorrow there. And we can also use leverage. I'm personally using 4 to 5x leverage with that position. And I think that's justified because we are balancing the position out, right? We go long one position, we go short the other position. So no matter what the price is doing, we always get a balanced net position. And so that's the plan with SpaceX as well. We're looking very closely at where the funding rate stabilizes, and then we are going to make a directional bet. Right now, it's still too volatile. Still, in crypto, there are opportunities. It's simply not the obvious opportunities. It's not buying a random altcoin. Then you do get hurt. This here is the altcoin market in the last year. There are very few winners. There are extremely high probabilities that you're getting burnt buying an altcoin. If you just diversified a little bit, the chance is pretty much 100% that you are going to lose. But if you are willing to invest some time, then there are still opportunities in a market that most people now overlook. This here is the tutorial videos that are available to the premium members as well. And one of them, one of the recent ones, that's opportunities in interest rate arbitrage. A half-hour video explaining every single step how to set up positions like this. So yeah, feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. There's also a 7-day money back guarantee in case you do not like premium. I will refund you 100%, no questions asked. Just email me within the first 7 days over here at this email address. But I recently ran the numbers. How long do people actually on average stay in premium? And during regular times in crypto, this tended to be around 7 months. Sometimes a bit more, sometimes a bit less, but on average, a premium member stayed 7 months. This is now shooting up because the market is actually getting softer. The competition is getting weaker. All the brains have moved over to AI, and so it becomes easier to beat crypto. I like to share this data because it shows that for many people, premium now became something that pays for itself. Traditional finance and crypto is becoming one, and that opens up a lot of opportunities. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish here regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time. Cheers.